How you guys doing? Thanks for coming tonight, guys. My name's Jung Park. I've known Kevin for about 3 years now, and he has profoundly changed my life. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way in this room. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here on a Monday night. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Kevin King.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you all for being here this evening. I really appreciate you being here. The concept that I want to talk to you about is called You Inspired. You, as a metaphor, is about the whole person, not the person that shows up for work every day, not the person that's the husband or the wife or the significant other, not the brother, the sister, the child, but the whole you. The part of you that you often fragment on a day-to-day basis when you walk into the world and walk into different situations. So inspired. What is truly the definition of inspired? The short definition we're going to use today is something that moves us to action. It motivates us to do something. It motivates us forward. As a person, we're a blend of our past, our present, and our desired future. If you think about that for a second, on a day-to-day basis, how often do you reflect on your past? How often does that past experience influence your current action? So in essence, when we look at our present, who we are today, who we all walked into the room as today, we are part of that past and part of the things that are going on in our lives today. In the concept of You Inspired, the true message here is that do we find our inspiration outside of ourselves? Or do we find our inspiration inside of ourselves? And the argument we can make is that if our inspiration is found outside of ourselves, that means other people can impact our state of being. In other words, we are dependent on others in order to be motivated and inspired. We hear about this every day in a concept called employee engagement at work. Generally speaking, Gallup came up with a survey called the Q12. And in that Q12, it assesses the level of engagement of employees at work. And one of those major influences on whether or not a person is engaged or not is their relationship with their boss. So in essence, what they're saying is that if you show up every day at work and you don't have a great relationship with your boss, then it affects your level of motivation or, in fact, your level of inspiration. That relationship becomes important. What I'd like to do is emphasize this past concept a little bit more by sharing with you a little bit about my past. Most of you may not know this. Here's the philosophy. We're born into our circumstances, but we create our conditions. Circumstances include these things. We don't get to pick our family. We don't get to pick our parents. We don't get to pick our brothers and sisters, our geography, our socioeconomics, our gender, our ethnicity, or any of those other factors. So in other words, we're born into a world where the canvas is sort of filled in for us from the beginning, a certain portion of it. As we live our lives, what we do is we walk through life making choices every day. We make them either consciously or unconsciously. But it doesn't change the fact that those choices create conditions that either move us forward and motivate us forward, or conditions that we have to sort of get the shovel out and start dig ourselves out of the things that we've created. In the relationships that we have in our lives, professionally and personally, the thing we have to understand is that they're not broke, therefore they don't need to be fixed. We're not broken, and we don't need to be fixed. We just need to understand what we need, how to be effective at managing that, but also being able to have the conversations to understand what other people need so that then we can be deliberate about creating a space where we can be effective together. So one of the questions I'd like for you to ask yourself when you leave here, how would your whole life, you as the whole person, be different if in fact you were able to live inspired every single day? And be able to turn that switch on and adjust that dial inside of yourself rather than needing or looking outside of yourself to be able to live inspired.
Hi, I'm Kevin King, founder and CEO of Transformation Point, and thank you for visiting our website. My sole purpose in life is to help others live inspired. To live inspired, we have to have an understanding of our past, our present, and our desired future. Generally speaking, our past has an overwhelming impact on our ability to live in the present and to achieve that desired future. And what I'd like to have an opportunity to do is to listen authentically to your story so that we can help you understand how to make that future possible. In our series of videos here, as well as our blog posts and other information you'll find on our website, it's all designed to help you unlock the path to living inspired. Thank you.